Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney at the speed of light, while we're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house.
Hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video I am sharing my Christmas home tour for 2022. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. So we have not seen the sun in my part of Virginia for days, so the lighting in today's video is really kind of awful, but I wanted to share my Christmas decor before we got too far into the season and I missed the chance. So let's take a little walk together and I will show you how we've decorated our home for Christmas. I thought I would start our tour today in the hallway. I love decorating the hallway most of all. It's kind of where I set my theme for the season, you know, and my theme that is going to run through all the decor in the rest of the house. And this year, my theme was very much keeping it simple and fun. Christmas is such a fun holiday. You know, we don't have little people in our house anymore, but there is really a sense of whimsy to the holiday. I think creating an environment at home that is warm and cozy and relaxed is perfect for a stress-free holiday. One of my most favorite features of my house is our two-story foyer. And for Christmas, I always like to decorate the banister. I just think it makes such a great impression when you come in the front door. So this year I used a pine garland that I got from Bethlehem Lights. It's pre-lit and battery operated, but I also have a regular string of lights all woven in there just to make it a little bit brighter at night. And then I added this red felt ball garland that I found at Michael's. I love felt ball garlands. I have them all throughout my house. I think they are just so soft and pretty and just add a little bit of color. And then I scattered in some red, white, and silver bulbs that I found in a big tub at the at-home store. They are great if you have like a color scheme in mind. I think they have bulbs in almost every color that you can imagine. And of course, on the ends of the banister and at all the different points above there, as you can see, I've added big fluffy bows, and it is just a combination of a red and black buffalo check and a red and black plaid ribbon that I found at Hobby Lobby this year. I usually make new bows for my banister every year because even though, you know, you can fluff them out year to year and reuse a lot of the bows, the ones for the foyer I like to make nice and fresh, and so they look as fluffy as possible. On the top of my chalkboard cabinet here in the hallway, I have Santa Claus and his sleigh with a couple packages and some little pine trees. For the backdrop, there is a chalkboard sign that my husband and I made a couple years ago. You really can't see it too well, but I do like that it has like a darker backdrop to help Santa Claus show up a little bit better against the wall. And down below on the cabinet, I have this beautiful wreath that I found at the at-home store last year. I just thought this was such a beautiful wreath. It had so many different textures. I really loved all the flocked pine and the pine cones and this beautiful little bird nest. The only thing that I added to it were some of the same types of bulbs that I used in the garland going up the stairs, just to give it a little bit of color. I really think this is a beautiful wreath. I love that it has the little vines that come off of it, and it's just the perfect size here for the hallway. I I added this ladder to the hallway several months ago, and I have really enjoyed decorating it for the different seasons. I just use it really as another display for some family photos that are really important to me, and I think it is fun to add some fun colors for the season, you know, a little Christmas card or two. This is a frame that has a picture of my husband when he was a little boy sitting on Santa's lap, and I have some photos of some of my most favorite people. So for the holiday, I added a red and black checked bow, a little bit of pine, and this cute little Merry Christmas sign. I think I got this last year. I want to say I got it at Hobby Lobby, but I can't be absolutely sure. But I thought it just blended in so well, and it looks so great atop of this ladder. I have kept it super simple here on my little hallway table. I have one of my most favorite Santa Clauses in my collection. I found this in town at an old antique store that unfortunately is no longer in business. I am so sad. I used to find the best unique pieces there for, you know, any season throughout the year. But this guy is just one of my favorites. He has a very sparkly Santa suit on, holding a candy cane with his big old sack of gifts there. I have it in the middle of two wooden trees, a couple of those same ornaments that I have in my garland on the banister, and behind there is just another chalkboard sign that says "Baby, it's cold outside" with a little snowflake on it, and behind that is a burlap board. I added a big red and black bow to the spray above the mirror. I made this spray a couple years ago. Actually, I think it was for Christmas, probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I liked it so much that I have just kept it up there, and I switch out the bow for the seasons. I always think that everything looks a little bit better with a little bit of green on it. Green's one of my most favorite colors, so decorating for Christmas is just one of my most favorite times of the year. I always have so much fun decorating my living room every year. The colors in here normally are just black, white, and green, so adding a little bit of red just immediately turns it into a little Christmas room. So over here on the side, I have my secretary desk that I have open. I have some coverless books there with a little Lennox Santa Claus, and I have one of my typewriters all decorated for the season. I have a little postcard there, this really adorable snow-covered nest with some pine cones and eggs, and a red and black checked bow. I use a lot of Christmas cards that I have received, you know, for decor throughout the years, and all of the ones that I have showed you so far have been from some of you. I've received so many beautiful handmade cards in our Christmas card swap every year, and I just love them. I keep them all, and some of the more special ones I like to use as decor. So if you are new to my channel, one of the things about me is I am a collector of things, and one of the things that I collect are vintage typewriters. I only have like 4 or 5 of them, but I love them so much, and I like to decorate them for the holidays and the season. This is another one of my vintage typewriters that we had picked up at an antique store in New Jersey. Now, most of these typewriters come to me unable to use, and my husband works on them a little bit to get them in, you know, semi-working order. We can probably type on most of them, but I really don't use them for typing. I like to just use them as display, like I have here on my coffee table. And I have this one also decorated with one of those snow-covered nests, a red and black bow, and a card from one of you guys that I'd received probably a couple years ago. I shared a little bit about our flocked Christmas tree the other day while I was decorating it. Well, it is all done. I think she is looking just so pretty. I have my black and red buffalo checked angel there at the top, and I try to keep all these ornaments either black, red, or white. And I also used a little bit of ribbon to kind of fill in the tree a little bit. I think it's so cute. I found this ribbon at Hobby Lobby, I think probably in like September, and it was just so cute. It has Santa on there. From the living room, we're going to head over into the dining room. I have my table all set with my favorite Christmas dishes. Over in the corner there, I have my corner cabinet all dressed up for the season, and I've hung my big snowman hat wreath, which is just one of my favorites. I bet many of you have these same Christmas dishes at home. These are those Better Homes and Garden Heritage Collection Christmas dishes that you could find at Walmart. Now, I'm not sure if they are for sale anymore, which is really sad because I think these are the most beautiful Christmas dishes, at least in my opinion, that I have ever seen. They have such a perfect vintagey look to them, you know, with the traditional red and green colors, and they had so many different pieces for you to choose from, and I just love the little luncheon plates. They were always all so different, and just every one of them was just so pretty. I only started collecting these a couple years ago. I hadn't known about them, which I think I probably missed out on some of the best pieces. You know, of course, you can find them on Mercari and eBay, but I think I'm pretty happy with the sets that I have. I've also included some of the pieces here on my corner cabinet, and I have one of the really big platters up there, which I think is so cute. You know, I am really still into that little red truck, you know, with the Christmas tree on top, and I think that's what attracted me to these dishes to begin with, but I just think that they are just perfect. I get a lot of questions about this door that I have hung here in my dining room. I found this at an antique store in Luckett's, Virginia, and I thought it would be a perfect backdrop to display some family photos. I'm always looking for, you know, unique and different ways to include family pictures in my decorating, and I thought this was like such a perfect solution. When we brought the door home from the antique store, my husband cut it down a little bit so that it would fit perfectly on this wall. And then I just added some jute twine and those little teeny clothespins, and I was able to hang a bunch of family photos here. Family pictures are very important to me, and I like to have them throughout my home, and I'm always looking for, you know, different and unique ways to include them, and I just thought this was such a different idea, and it worked out so well. You know, sometimes I'll switch them out at Christmas time for Christmas cards, but throughout the year it's mostly family photos, and I just switch out the wreath there in the middle. Now this snowman wreath I probably made, oh goodness, probably 4 or 5 years ago. That big snowman hat I found on eBay probably like a decade ago. I was really into primitive decor back then, and that's when I purchased this one, and I just built a wreath all around it. It's one of my favorite things to put up during the holidays. I think it just looks great here. So we are here in the kitchen. It looks very yellow here. It is not this yellow in person. I think it's just the murky day that we have going on outside. But I think I shared a lot of my counter decor the other day when we were making soup together. So I am going to link that video up above and down below for you. So we'll just kind of go through and I'll point out a few things. I mean, there is a lot in here, so it would take a long time just to point out everything. So why don't we start over here with my canister set. I had mentioned in that video that I had been working on collecting red Ray Dunn Christmas canisters probably for the last 3 years, and this was the first year that I was able to put a little collection together here. This is where I have my everyday canister set throughout the year, which is like an ivory color. So I was really excited this year to be able to put together this display. I have a little Santa snow globe there that I made a couple years ago. Over on this side of the counter, I have my Ray Dunn tea set here, and on each side of my stove I always have these 2 tiered trays, and this year for Christmas I have them all decorated with gingerbread. This one has that adorable Oh Snap gingerbread mug. I have a red truck with a tree on top. Those are salt and pepper shakers. Down below I have a Jingle Bells candle with a gingerbread sign. Back there are a couple little DIYs I made during Christmas in July. Then over on this side I have a gingerbread baby Ray Dunn canister. I have a couple little signs. My cocoa sign and my marshmallow sign were made by a really sweet crafty friend of mine, and this little gingerbread book stack was something else that we made during our Christmas in July this year. Up above my stove I have 2 wreaths that I found at the Target dollar spot, and I just decorated them with a little wooden ornament. One says Merry and the other one says Bright, and of course I topped it with that red and black buffalo checked bow. That seems to be my theme throughout my house because I have a bow there, I have a red and black buffalo checked towel here, and even my little reindeer towel over there is sporting that buffalo check. On top of my cabinet here, I have another tiered tray. This one has a little bit of peppermint candy inside. I have this peppermint tree that was really popular. I think it was last year. I found it at Michael's. I have a Williams & Sonoma Santa plate back there. Another Ray Dunn Snow Days canister that was a gift from my brother. Down below I have a candy cane sign that I got from a company on Etsy called Bailey's Branches. Behind that I have a reindeer Ray Dunn mug with a little gingerbread house here, and another one of those felt ball garlands. I have kept my kitchen table super simple this year. I usually do a whole tablescape with plates and everything, but this year I just opted to decorate my little Lazy Susan that I found at Target. I have a Rae Dunn Merry Christmas plate along with a candle there, and I really love this big Santa vase. I think I found it at the at-home store last year, and I just have a cute little pine tree inside. So we have made it to the family room, and this is the spot in the house that has the most Christmas cheer in it. This is where we spend our holiday, you know, with the family. This is where we open gifts and just hang out. This room has really evolved over this last year. I've made some changes in here, which I just love. So we kind of went a little easy on the elaborate Christmas displays, especially here on the mantle. I usually do a really big garland here that takes me such a long time to do. And this year I just strung a pine garland that I got at Michael's, and I just added some sparkly berries to it with little bows on each side. The mantle has basically stayed the same. It's usually what it is throughout the year. And then I just changed out my big wreath for this Christmas tree cutout wreath. I made this years ago. I found that sign at an antique store probably like 10 years ago, and it is one of my favorite Christmas pieces. So I always add it to a wreath here above the mantle, and I just add a red and black checked bow to it, and it's pretty much done. I am so happy with my centerpiece here on my coffee table this year. It is super simple. I've just added color with that red and black checked ribbon. This lantern, which is here throughout the year, I've just added some pine cones, a little bit of pine, and some lamb's ear. Down below I have a whole spray of some different kinds of pine and cedar with a big fluffy bow on it and a couple tiny little pine cones. Now these sparkly white trees I have had for years, and I always seem to find, you know, just the right spot to put them every year. I've gathered some cozy things here in this blanket basket that I found at Target. The Farm Fresh tree pillow I think I found at Home Goods a couple years ago. The black and white pillow behind there is a pillow cover that I found on Amazon this year. I've just added some really pretty evergreen and pine picks behind there, and I've added this black and red checked scarf. Change things up a little bit here on my white china cabinet. I got inspired by that big red sign back there that I found at Hobby Lobby this year. I thought it was just perfect. It allowed me to go very simply here with the garland because it was so colorful. Now this big glass snow globe I made years ago. I pull it out every year. It's one of my favorite pieces that I've made for the holidays. I just love it. And I just added some sparkly bulbs and berries. I have a little red truck and trailer that has some Christmas trees in it. I've scattered some pine cones, and I have a couple little black reindeer here, and in the back there is another DIY little red truck snow globe that I made. Above it all, hung on the cabinet doors, is this little wreath that I made a couple years ago, of course using my favorite red and black ribbon and a little reindeer sign that I found at Michael's. And then, of course, in the corner is our Christmas tree here in the family room. I really love this tree. We have had it forever. It's just a really tall, thin tree that can fit in a very small, tight space. I have it all decorated in that red and black theme of mine. Even Santa Claus is sporting a little red and black checked skirt. Now this tree is decorated with a lot of family ornaments. I have a lot of family name ornaments on this tree. Like I said before, this is the tree that will fill up with packages, you know, for Christmas morning. And it's the one that we all gather around to, you know, visit with each other, exchange gifts, and just spend some good quality time together. So thank you all so much for watching my Christmas home tour for 2022. Don't forget about our holiday card swap that we have going on right now. All the details for the card exchange is down in the description box down below. Please join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I will see you again soon. Bye!